OG, who do you think? Like, we don't like talking about greatest of all time, but I've never been clear on who do you think is the greatest ever. And I would like the answer. I mean, who do you think is the greatest basketball player to ever live?
LeBron James is the most complete basketball player that I've ever seen. Jordan is a complete basketball player.
No.
Him coming out of college, he had the fanfare. He was college. He was a Naismith Basketball Player of the Year. And when he got to the Bulls, there wasn't a lot of fanfare about Jordan because the Bulls were trash and it was a big man era. And if he didn't do anything, there wasn't anything expected from him early because the Bulls were trash. He actually becomes that over the course of time with the maturation of his game, where he is now a defender, which I wasn't surprised at him being a defender because he was that at North Carolina because that's what they taught them. I was surprised at the scorer that he became because I didn't see that. I saw the athleticism, but I didn't see the scoring until he got to the league. I was surprised in the maturation of his game offensively. But defensively, I wasn't surprised. And then we get to probably the 91-92 season where, in my opinion, that's the best version of Jordan. That was the guy who, I got this thing figured out. These are my troops. The rest of you guys, this is where the line is because you guys got nothing for us.
Yep.
That was the best version of Jordan that I saw. James, on the other hand, not only did he come out of high school, going into the NBA with men, I have never seen an athlete have more fanfare, more pressure, and more hype than he had. And for him to actually live up to that.
Yep.
For him to become everything that everybody said that he wouldn't. Everybody said that he'd fall on his face. And not only that, to do it in Cleveland, where I'm from, by the way, right? I'm not from Cleveland, but James, on the other hand, I live right down the block from where this team plays. So that's another added pressure. And for him to do that, for that team to treat him the way they did for those 7 years where they were putting ragtag crews around him. Jordan
Dan
had
Gilbert,
stability.
man. Yep.
Jordan had stability in Chicago. Well, what do you mean he had stability? He had Paxson for 8 years. He had Ho Grant and Scottie Pippen for 6 years. He had Bill Cartwright for 5 years. He had B.J. Armstrong for 4 years. So when you're building a unit around somebody, there's a level of stability and confidence that you have in that organization. The only constant that James had was Ilgauskas. Everybody else, it was like a revolving door.
Yeah.
Everybody else, and they were throwing ragtag crews together and telling James, go figure it out. And he was doing that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he went to the finals, I believe, in 2007 with that team. Yeah. So, I mean.
And everybody got upset with him for going to Miami when all he did was level the playing field.
Yeah.
Because at that time, so Jordan, for example, and I'm not going to take up a lot of your time, but Jordan, for example, he had an organization that was building a unit around him. And they were serious. And they were stable. James had, and Jordan had to rely on Jerry Krause to do that. James had to rely on the Cleveland Cavaliers to get a unit around him for him to compete for what you guys have said makes him great. You got to win. So I got to depend on these guys to help me get that. I got to depend on what you give me as an organization to do that. Well, they weren't doing that. And James decided that he was going to take his career into his own hands because you said that in order for me to be great, I got to win.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do that somewhere else. So all he did was level the playing field. And not only did he level the playing field, he went to Miami and became that guy. He could have went to Miami and it was, but it wasn't.
That's what they thought it was. Yeah, they thought it was going to be like that in 2000 after the Mavericks won, which me and Lightout said was the turning point for James's career was that Miami Mavs series because like you go there, you get back to the finals, you have the better team, you are the best player, and then you crumble. So the media pressure is just like, he's never gonna be. And then I said once he adapted that villain role, which is essentially very important in basketball. People don't really talk about how if people hate you because they know you're so good, it's the best feeling in the world.
It is.
Like I was like, I would kill to be LeBron in 2000, right after the 2011 finals. I would kill to be Kevin Durant with the Warriors or Steph with the Warriors with Kevin Durant. I would kill Trae Young in the playoffs because everybody hates you because they want to see you fall. But
That's 2011 is the best thing that ever happened to him. 2011,
yeah, and I was like, LeBron went on to win back-to-back championships the year after that. And then they hate him because of now. Oh, now we hate you because of how you won the championships.
MVPs too, CZ. Don't leave that out. MVPs, not just back-to-back championships.
And the MVP and back-to-back MVPs, the Finals MVPs. Now we're gonna sit back and say, well,
all defensive players of the all defensive teams.
Yeah, the all defensive teams. One almost the defensive player of the year. 2 in 2013. So then we're sitting here like, okay, well, we said you couldn't do it after the 2011 series. We laughed because you lost in such convincing fashion. And so then we're just going to keep on saying, haha, you're never going to be as good as this person. And now you're undisputedly the best player in basketball over the next course. Now you're undisputed the best player in basketball. So now we're going to look at it as, okay, now I feel like after you win a couple titles, the media pressure kind of dies down. But then from the media pressure is where fans come in and the haters come in. And now we're in the social media era where LeBron is still the most hated player in basketball. Like that, I think they did a poll on that.
OG said it like perfectly. I mean, there is no player in NBA history that had the amount of pressure as LeBron James, had all this hatred from different types, from the media, from the fans, and then come out and do what he does. Like, it's the stuff that LeBron James does that you gotta respect. And I mean, and it's crazy how LeBron is no longer in the playoffs and somehow he's still getting heat. Like, like